This is the plaintiff, Tanya Jordan. She says she purchased a refrigerator from the defendant, and when she got it home and plugged it in, the thing didn't get cold, and she was ripped off. She's suing for $700, the amount she paid for the fridge and spoiled food. This is the defendant, Chris Baker. He says he has no idea what the plaintiff did to the refrigerator because it was only 4 years old and it worked fine when he had it. He tried to help this lady out, but certainly doesn't owe her any money because she must have misused the thing when she got it home. He's accused of not chilling out a customer.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff bought a refrigerator from the defendant, says the thing is a piece of junk, and didn't even get the food cold. But the defendant saying, come on, when he sold the refrigerator, it was working just fine. It's the case of chill out, lady.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay, Ms. Jordan, you purchased a used Samsung refrigerator from the defendant and his wife for $400, and you are suing for $700 because you want the money back for the fridge, plus money that you paid people to transport it, plus gas, plus the food that was damaged, because according to you, it's a piece of junk. Tell me what happened here.
Good day, Your Honor. What it was is I'm in the process of opening a group home, and the refrigerator that I had was smaller, as well as it did not cool sufficiently. So I went on Marketplace to find a larger refrigerator, and I found where Lisa Marie Baker had an ad for the refrigerator. I asked her at that time, was there anything wrong with the refrigerator? And she said there was nothing wrong with the refrigerator. That same day, I had agreed to pick it up, but she said the husband needed to speak to her.
Needed to speak to you?
Right. And so I talked with the husband, who is Chris, and Chris explained that there was an emergency, he had to fix someone's plumbing, and I understood, no worries. So we rescheduled to deliver it another day, in which he would actually help with the delivery of the refrigerator.
Okay, but you were you hired some people or you tipped them or whatever to go with a truck to his house to pick it up. Did you ever make sure it was working before you bought it?
Yes, I went to his home, and the refrigerator was in the garage.
Did you open up the fridge door and did you put your hand in there and did you think it was cold?
I couldn't really tell at that time.
Why not? I mean, it's supposed to be 38 degrees. I can kind of tell the difference between 38 and not. I can't tell the difference between 38 and 39, but I can tell the difference between 38 and 59. Like
Right. I was going just basically by the thermostat that showed on the refrigerator.
Okay, and tell me about that thermostat, Mr. Baker. What's the deal with that? What is she saying here?
There's two different settings on there. It'll tell you what the temperature actually is and what it's set for.
Okay.
But when she came to pick that refrigerator up, it was cold.
Okay.
When you open the door, it tells you what the temperature is inside.
And what was it? Do you remember?
No, I don't.
And then when you press it tells you what it's set at.
Right.
Okay.
You have to press it again in order to get the temperature that it is set for, yes.
Okay, so according to you, it was working fine when it was at your house. Now, you pick it up, Ms. Jordan.
That's correct.
Okay, so you take it, and how was it placed into the truck?
There were, I want to say, 4 men that lifted, including Mr. Baker, that lifted the refrigerator up on top of into the truck.
Okay. All right, and can I ask you, you paid how much for this, $400?
I paid $400 for the refrigerator.
And then, Mr. Baker, how much did you pay for that refrigerator when it was new?
I paid $1,900 for it.
And how old was the refrigerator?
It was about 4.5 years old.
Okay. Ms. Jordan, the refrigerator gets to the group home you're starting. And by the way, what kind of group home is it?
It's a group home that's going to service veterans.
Oh, great. Okay. And what happens, according to you?
So the first night I got it, when it was delivered, Chris actually came over with us. He was very helpful during the entire
that's very
process.
nice. I've never heard of a seller, helping to bring it to you, but go ahead.
So when we get it home, I was just exhausted. So I didn't do anything that particular day.
Okay.
So that next day I got up, plugged it in, and just, let it set. And it seemed to be cooling. And when I get up and I'm looking into the temperature setting, it's like it's not moving. Like I'm pushing the button and it's not dropping the temperature. So I called Chris. He came over and he looked at it and, did whatever with it. And
so he came over to try to help you fix it?
He did.
Okay.
At that point, we had a good relationship because he had fixed my grandson's basketball goal, put it up for me. He had fixed my doorbell. So, I had
Did you pay him for that stuff or no?
No, I didn't pay him for that.
Okay.
He just, I was like, I do believe in tipping people. He was going to come back and do more work for me.
Did you tip him?
So whatever, not that particular, I did not. Because...
Do you know how often I have a seller help deliver? How often does this happen in front of us?
I've never heard of that.
That's right.
Ever.
Help deliver it, then comes over to see if he can fix it.
Fixes other stuff.
Then while he's at it, let me fix your hoops.
And your bell.
And let me fix your doorbell. Your doorbell's not working? I could put a gun to my husband's head and not get him to fix that stuff.
He comes back over and he, quote, fixed it.
Well, did you think he'd fixed it?
Yeah, I had no
So did it feel cold? Well, no, I'm asking you. You're an independent thinking person. Did you put your hand in it and say, oh, yeah, that's way colder. That's perfect. Did you?
It seemed like it was cooling down to me.
Okay, so what'd you do?
Food in the fridge.
Okay, why didn't you wait until, wait just a second. Why didn't you wait until the temperature was down to put food in the fridge?
I just assumed that, what they say about assumptions, but I assumed that it was going to work.
Right.
And put the food in the refrigerator and I went to bed.
And then what happened?
So I get up the next morning, it is hot. The fridge is hot. So I got back in contact with Chris and he actually came back over and dissected the refrigerator.
And
he was not able to fix it. And
what was wrong with it, Chris, when you came back that second time?
Well, it was loaded with food, and it was about an inch away from the wall. So that was two problems that I had noticed right away. So
why?
We pulled
What
it away
happens?
from the wall.
What happens when you overload the refrigerator?
Well, it just takes it longer to come to temperature. I'm not a refrigerator repairman, but I do know that you have to let it get cold before you put your food in there.
Okay, and what about an inch from the wall? What's the problem with that?
Well, because there's a fan in back of it that keeps the coils cool.
Right.
And if it doesn't have anywhere to pull that air in from, then it overheats the refrigerator.
Okay, so what did you tell her that day when you came over? Those two things?
Yes, I did.
And then
we
what?
pulled it away from the wall.
And then apparently you offered to, so you took a video of the food that was ruined, and let's see your video here.
Okay, this is a cake that I had purchased from my cousin, Mustard. The cake was $40. Half of it, the cake was in the refrigerator because I buy sweets and then I freeze them. So that's completely ruined.
All right, I get the general idea. Now, when you tell him, I want you to pay for my food, what does he say?
Actually, he offered to pay.
Okay.
He offered to replace.
So you had actually, Mr. Baker, said to her, give me a list of what you're missing, and you told her, tell me exactly what you told her, Mr. Baker.
I did tell her I would replace her ruined food. I was just trying to be nice. I didn't want any enemies in the neighborhood, and but I also told her that she should put the food in her working refrigerator before it went bad. Mr.
Baker, let me ask you a question. You actually told her that you would use your food stamps to help her buy the food? How'd that go over with your wife?
No, it wasn't going over with my wife at all.
Okay, all right. What did your wife say about that?
She said that we're not going to use our kids' food money to replace her food when she should have just left it in her working refrigerator until ours, the one that we sold her, got the temperature. So my understanding is that you also offered to have somebody go over and fix it, and you called an appliance repair place and had them go over there? The one person that I did find said that she would have to call and make an appointment.
Okay, and so
she was the homeowner.
Wait, why are you making that face? I thought you did call that appliance store, Jay's Appliance, and made an appointment.
Correct. I did go to them and make an appointment. And actually, when I made the appointment, it was like a 3-week 3 to 4 week wait.
Okay, so they come
to
over
get
and what do
him.
they say about it?
He says several things are wrong with the refrigerator.
I don't see what he says because the only documentation you gave me doesn't say anything. It just says Jay's Appliance, and then it says over freezing is what it said. It didn't even say it's not getting cold. It just says over freezing or something. Where's the rest of Jay's diagnosis? Why couldn't Jay's Appliance fix the refrigerator? What did they say?
It would take a while for the part to come in, and it would be about $400.
Is anything you're saying in writing? Because I don't have that in writing from Jay's.
Welcome back to the People's Court. This is about a refrigerator that doesn't work. The question, who's responsible for that? Because the defendant's saying that when he sold it to her, it worked just fine. Fact is, it doesn't get the food cold, so who's responsible? Let's find out.
Ms. Jordan, do you know what the phrase as is means? Have you ever heard that phrase?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
What does it mean?
You're buying it as is.
What does that mean, though? What does that mean?
It's whatever it is.
It is what it is, what it is, right? But Ms. Jordan, here's the deal, okay? When you come to court on a used as-is sale, you have to prove to me that he gave you a specific warranty. A lie like, oh, I put in a new compressor, and then someone can testify, an expert can testify this compressor's, 10 years old. You have to show like a specific lie because there is no warranty on a used item. So he doesn't have to do diddly squat, much less fix your doorbell and your basketball thing, give your kid a pump, go to the place twice, offer to pay. He doesn't have to do anything because there is no warranty on a used as-is sale.
So I guess the information I provided was the evaporator cover. The whole point was...
I don't care if what's wrong with it is that it is possessed by Satan. It just doesn't matter what's wrong with it because you're supposed to know, inspect, and be confident when you leave an as-is sale. And if something goes wrong, and it's clear something went wrong, I'm not disputing something's wrong. The problem is, whose burden is it once you're done with an as-is sale? And the answer is buyer beware. Because when you're done buying a used item, you best make sure you want that item and it's working for you. And the price of $400 for a $1,900 item is awesome. And if you have to put a little money into it in a used car that you're buying, you're aware of it. If you have to put a little money into it to repair it, you're aware of it. Whatever it is, you best make sure you know what you're buying because he has zero obligation to you when it's over. My verdict in this case is for the defendant.
So the plaintiff fails to prevail in this case. As the judge says, the defendant didn't have to do doodly squat to help her, and he really did try to help her. Ms. Jordan, what do you think about this? How do you feel about it?
I mean, it's, there's a reason why people like him have, issues in this because he knows he sold me a refrigerator that was not working. He knows that. He knows that it was not working. He's going to get what he was coming to him.
Well, sorry, you don't prevail. You're stuck. It was an as-is sale. That's what the judge said. Chris, you seem like you did as much as you could for her. How do you feel about it? Are you surprised she sued you? I
am actually. There was nothing wrong with that refrigerator to start with, and I thought it would be something minor and simple to figure out. That's why, I put my effort into trying to figure it out for her. And I'm sorry that it worked out this way.
Well, listen, the judge found in your behalf. Sometimes you just can't please everybody. Unfortunately, it just didn't work. So that'll bring the case to a close. The defendant really did try and do his best. At least it seems that way. What do you think, Harvey?
Okay, Doug. So in a situation like this, the plaintiff is going to lose on several counts. Number one, there really isn't any proof that this thing was defective when the defendant sold it. It may have been that this refrigerator was old and just broke as a result of being transported. But no matter what, this is a private as-is sale. And even if it didn't work at the time, the plaintiff had the ability to plug it in, to look at it or whatever. And unless there's proof of fraud, the plaintiff's going to lose the case on that count. So what the plaintiff should have done in a situation like this is A, try the refrigerator out by plugging it in and making sure it gets cold. And two, ask for a 30-day warranty to make sure the thing is going to work. If the seller says no, you can always walk away. But ask for it. If you get it, then you may have legal recourse.
The question is, who is the better driver?
Oh boy, that is a tough question, but a fair one, okay? First of all, when I'm driving, it's really like two people are driving because
Right.
I'm sitting there trying to pay attention to the road and you're yelling at me to do this, do that. What's wrong with you? That guy's gonna cut in front of you. This is gonna, I'm like, honey, I got this. I got this. I've been doing this a long time.
Okay, but in fairness to me, you have sometimes a bit of a lead foot, do you not?
You know, maybe I get there a little faster than some other people do.
I hope the kids are watching right now. And so I am nervous about you doing long drives without either me or one of the kids in that car to slow you down.
Listen, I will drive to the ends of the earth with you, but can we do it with maybe like a blindfold and a gag? All right, just something, or just some headphones.
Having complained a lot, let
Dark
me just
glasses.
say, I hate driving. I hate driving so much. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. And the kids will call us when they know we're on a long drive saying, Mom, are you doing half of the driving? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing half of the driving. Meanwhile, I do zero of the driving.
Yeah, because I don't mind it so
would
much.
much rather you drive, and I can get stuff done on the computer. And
we are much more productive when I'm driving
and my eyes are distracted, and it's kind of like the gag and the blindfold.
Plus, you get onto tasks and you get things done while we're driving places. I, on the other hand, if you give me the iPad or the stuff, I have the attention span of a gerbil. So it's like one thing, I'll start on task A, and then all of a sudden I'm on task B, and things are all jumbled up, and I'm like, oh my God.
So I'll keep complaining, and you keep driving.
Sounds good. Sounds like a deal.